before we get started, let's check out the links in my description. We all want nice things. We want the car, we want a house, we want a high limit credit card. But if you don't have at least a 680 credit score, you're not even in the game. So click this link here to know where you stand and get your free credit scores from all three bureaus. That will be Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. And also get your reports. If you would like to be free and become financially independent through entrepreneurship, click this link here to be free. If you'd like to get cash back, which is a discount during shopping, please click this link here to see my favorite cashback sites. And if you enjoy the music you hear in the background, please click the link here and subscribe to It's Oasis. Hello everyone, welcome back to Community Wealth. Today we're just going to go over a few things I came across about what's going on with the PPP per se. There's nothing major happening as usual. Everything is still at a stalemate. But the great thing is people are still being funded. I'm still seeing comments, people being funded, people are being approved, people are going into lender funding, people are getting deposits, people are in borrow funded, and all of that is great. I'm happy for you guys. I mean, congratulations. So, I mean, what else is there? For everyone else, you're still going through the whole code situation. Your banking information is probably off or whatever the case. I can't say. No one really knows what's going on with the SBA. So the SBA, they're being tight-lipped on everything. They're not really telling anybody anything. You can't communicate with anybody really. Or if you get in touch with the SBA, they're not really going to say much because everything is pretty much behind the scenes. So all you pretty much can do right now is just wait. Unless it has something to do with the bank information. Then you could probably try to get in touch with your bank or your credit union and or the lender. Womply, we could try to get in touch with Womply. It's kind of hard. I haven't been in contact with him yet. I haven't known anyone to even get in contact with him. I know people have gotten emails back and forth from them, but I don't really know how long that really took for them to email you back. So you can try that route. I'm hearing that the phone number I've posted is not getting any responses, so I mean it's kind of like I'm posting this phone number pretty much for nothing. So anyway, that's what's going on with that. More of a like we gotta wait it out type situation, and that's getting frustrating for me as well, even though I've been funded. But I'm frustrated because I'm the one delivering this information and it's just not working out for many of you. A lot of you, yes, I think most of you is working out for, but many of you where it's not, or it's you're getting that close but no funding is happening. Let's just say you're borrower funded. Now the bank information gets kicked back, so now you didn't receive the funds, or nothing ever happened after borrower funded, or you've been stuck on lender funded. You're going back to lender submitted. So it's just frustrating for all of us. Okay. Now, all that being said, there is a shot at getting more funding, and by that you just go to the Womply website, you log in, and you go ahead and sign the petition, and we can try to see if we can get more funding that way. You know, they got a new bill coming up. It still hasn't went through yet. They're still working on trying to get this new bill through, so that'll be a great way to try to squeeze in more PPP funding. Now what's happening is kind of the reverse of before. Before it was they were working on a PPP and they weren't pushing the EIDL. Now it's all about the EIDL and this restaurant funding and the venue funding, but really nothing for PPP. Even though PPP have tons of apps, people are just sitting there waiting and nothing been happening. Been waiting for months and nothing's going on. And so they need to really, try to focus on that, which I believe they are, because as you know, everything is going to end on June 30th. Today is the 17th. So it's a few days left, about 2 weeks, and they have to get this stuff done. So I guess they're really focused on the whole codes and bank information, things like that behind the scenes. Let us know in the comments to see if they have been getting in contact with you, not necessarily SBA, but the lenders in Womply to, see if we can get the stuff handled so you can get funded. right? But with all that being said, I do have a little story I came across, a little article about giving us an idea of what's really happening with this funding. So here we go. All right here's an article about minorities, or I should say people of color or owners of color, and I guess you could say minorities. They call it the priority list, being held out of funding. So it says, a slap in the face. Court orders SBA to halt aid to restaurant owners of color women. Here it says, Sayavada Idari, hope I said that correctly, owner of Kokava Chocolatier, applied for relief funds from the federal government on May 17th. Within 2 weeks, she got an answer from the Small Business Administration. She qualified, and $50,000 would appear in her bank account in 3 to 7 business days. I know a lot of you guys have been saying that. Yes, I got approved for the PPP, right? Idari opened Kokove on East Washington Avenue in 2018. Business was good before COVID-19 forced a pivot. When she replaced seating with retail shelves and raised money for a takeout window, the upheaval, she said, has been physically and emotionally draining and financially devastating. Relief funds will help, but they haven't come. On May 27, a Tennessee court ruled that the Small Business Administration's racial and gender-based priority categories were unconstitutional. Idari found out this past weekend that she may never see the funds she was repeatedly promised. I know a lot of you guys are in that position. You got to prove, and the money's supposed to be coming, and you never see it. And this could be part of the reason. If I had gotten this money, it would have been the biggest chunk of money my business has gotten, Idari said. It would have offset the loss in revenue from last year. Approved but not paid. Sounds familiar, people? I know that does. Congress created the Restaurant Revitalization Fund in March to reimburse food, business, and bars for up to $10 million in pandemic-induced revenue losses. Congress designated the first 21 days starting May 3rd as a priority window in which the Small Business Administration, SBA, would approve only applications from business owners who self-identified as women, veterans, and socially and economically disadvantaged individuals. The last category, the SBA explained, includes those who have been subjected to racial or ethnic prejudice or cultural bias because of their identity and therefore may have less access to credit and capital. Multiple studies indicate that the pandemic has taken a disproportionate toll on businesses owned by people of color, and that the Paycheck Protection Program, the first major federal effort to help businesses weather the pandemic, unfairly advantaged white business owners. But as applications poured in, more than 372,000 requested 2.5 times the available funds. It became clear that applicants in those priority groups might be the only ones to receive funds. White business owners launched 3 lawsuits, and all 3 courts ruled in their favor. Courts in Tennessee and Texas also issued injunctions ordering the SBA to cease distributing funds to applicants from the priority group and to continue processing non-priority applications. In an email sent to priority applicants last weekend, the agency said that in response to the court decisions, it had halted payments to 2,965 priority applicants who had already received approval but had not yet been paid. SBA's leadership is frustrated with this outcome and remains committed to doing everything we can to support disadvantaged businesses getting the help they need to recover from the historic pandemic, read the email from the agency's Office of Capital Access. Industry groups estimate that there are tens of thousands of priority applications that have not yet been processed, whose aid is now stalled too. Christine Amay, hope I'm saying that correctly, Christine Amay runs Christine's Kitchen, a food hub and incubator that during the pandemic became a lifeline for many hyper-local, very small food businesses. On May 4, Amay sent her application for the $100,000 in relief funds she qualified for. Like Idari, she got positive news from the SBA, but the funds never came. We worked so hard to keep going, Amay said. You worked so hard and we made no money last year, like none. So it was exciting to be able to continue to move forward with the new project. The money was going to help keep us alive, hire a staff person. There are different things we could have achieved with that money. For now, the SBA has disregarded priority status and is reviewing all applications in the order that they were received. With just $1 billion left in the fund, that means some or all of the applicants previously approved for assistance will no longer receive it unless Congress allocates additional funds. Sounds familiar, right? A slap in the face. Sean, let's see if I can get this right. Sean Fetterplace, Wisconsin state manager for a small business advocacy group, Main Street Alliance, calls the decision a slap in the face, saying it will delay much needed assistance to businesses across the state. By halting aid to business owners of marginalized groups, the injunction is codifying discrimination, he said, pointing to the uneven effects of the pandemic and the additional challenges these business owners face. Non-white business owners have less wealth, on average, than white business owners and sometimes face outright discrimination from lenders. Business owners of color are more likely to leverage personal assets than white business owners are, he said, so they could lose their homes if they don't receive this assistance. If you are a person who is African American or LGBT or a woman, you've historically experienced discrimination through the credit lending process, through programs and the way they're designed, Fetterplace said. The first round of the Paycheck protection program overwhelmingly privileged white business owners, he added. Yeah, I remember that, and they weren't small businesses either. Idari agreed, noting the tiny fraction of businesses and buildings owned by black entrepreneurs in Madison. The collateral damage of being black, a woman, anyone historically marginalized during a pandemic, those inequities are much more pronounced, she said. There's definitely a compelling government interest in creating a scheme that prioritizes people that have historically been in that situation. In some cases, business owners of marginalized groups may have similar losses to white business owners, Fetterplace said, but this is about making sure that they have what they need in order to thrive because they already have so much working against them. Among the plaintiffs in the cases is a conservative legal group, Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty, which filed suit on behalf of a white Tennessee restaurant owner. Under the guise of pandemic relief, the American Rescue Plan Act enables the federal government to engage in illegal and unconstitutional race and sex discrimination, said the president and general counsel Rick Essenberg in a May press release announcing the suit. This is ugly, pernicious, and toxic. Fetterplace argues that those who brought the lawsuits against preferential treatment aren't aware of their own privilege or the ways current and past systems have advantaged people like them. Replenish the funds. Already, the fund has nearly run dry, with $27.4 billion distributed as of Monday. Fetterplace isn't surprised. It was clear from the beginning that the demand for funds would outpace the $28.6 billion allotment, he said. His group is now calling on legislators to replenish the fund. Last week, a bipartisan group of lawmakers introduced a proposal to add $60 billion to the fund, but it's not yet clear when it will see a vote. The easiest way to fix this is to replenish the funds, Fetterplace said. This issue goes away if that's the case. Many who got the approval and invested before the government check came through may be worse off than Idari NMA. Okay, a couple more paragraphs, people. Idari, a former criminal defense attorney, was very skeptical from the start. Her philosophy is don't spend money you don't have, and May said she'll be all right, but recovery will take more time. It makes me so frustrated, said May. If you applied for it, it's because you needed it. I understand that the United States has been printing money to get us out of this pandemic. I'm fully aware of that. But to resent the offer you made to these people, she choked up, then paused to gather her thoughts. I definitely understand my privilege as a white woman versus a person of color, and May said. I was like, okay, take it away from me. But I hear about other people who lost it, and I was even more mad. It's just disappointing. Alright. I'm going to toe the line here. Okay, what's going to happen is I'm going to toe the little line here. I'm not necessarily going to put color on it per se, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to put people on it who have a history of a very established business in a certain community. It's usually a money issue, what I'm seeing, and money makes people feel a certain way. So just like the big companies, the huge companies like let's just say like a Starbucks or somebody who got millions in PPP funds last year, right? If they get pushed to the back of the line, even though they're okay, and people who have much less than you get focused on, they tend to throw a hissy fit, get upset, and say, what about me? Hold on, partner. You good right now. You can hold off for a little longer. Let these people get it first. It's kind of like being in line and I got this huge basket of groceries, right? I'm fine. I'm okay. I don't mind. The person behind me has an arm full, maybe like 6, 7, 8 items. Okay, go ahead, dude. You good? You'll be done in a second. I'll put my stuff on the belt after you. That's just how I look at it. Or even with myself, I help people to make much more money than me. I help people to get much more credit than me. Most everybody I help to get credit, their credit card balances is 3, 4, 5 times mine. I don't care. I'm gonna get mine. I'm working hard on getting my stuff together. I'm gonna thrive regardless. But I want you to do good. I want you to do great. I want you to do better than me. That's the whole point of me telling you. So I don't get that whole, hey, wait a minute, why you dealing with those people? Why you can't give me the money? You good, dude? Relax. You know what I'm saying? That's just where I'm at with it. Okay, but anyway, as I always say, look, in order for you not even have to worry about this, get your personal credit together. Check out the credit monitoring links in the description and go ahead and sign up and get your 3 scores and your 3 reports from the big 3. Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. See where you at so you can work on your personal credit, and that way you can get your funding from your financial institution. Alright? You don't have to worry about none of this. You'll be good. Also, you will need to check out the link in the description so you can figure out how I got 5 properties for $5,500. So check out that Be Free link. Alright? So also, if you got a vehicle, or if you want to lease a vehicle so you can go out here and get you some of this DoorDash money, all this gig work, Instacart and all that good stuff, click the hire car. Well, it's called the Wealth Hire Car link in the description. That way you don't have to use your own car. And if you just want to get started, you don't mind using your own car, go ahead and click that Wealth Dasher link. Okay? So click the Wealth Dasher link. You can get started DoorDash and making about $500 to $1,000 a week or more. All right? But hope you got something from this video. So you see, it's not just you, it's a lot of people. As you go, you can read in my comments, you see it's tons of people getting pushed to the back of the line, and it could be because of what they're talking about right here in this article about the SBA going back on what they said they were going to do. All right. So again, thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to It's a Wasey. And until the next video, let's get this money.